Welcome to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Thanks, Allan. This is David Brower, and our special guest today is Pam Day. She's a certified life spiritual coach, an artist, a writer, musician, and she owns the Breathing Space here where I live in Loveland, Colorado.
Hi, David. I'm well. Thanks for having me today.
You bet. I've been excited about this relatively new venture of yours, even for a while, and even though you've been doing this life coach thing and for quite a while, right?
Yeah, about 10 years, I think, now.
And what got you into that? What was the epiphany that said, I think I need to be a life coach?
Well, it was kind of sort of a natural transition. So looking back, just kind of seeing doing some assessments and some, reflection about how I'm sort of created and designed. Mm-hmm. And that's just one of the passions and gifts that I feel like I've been given. And it's been kind of a natural process all my life of people just coming to me and talking and telling me, stuff about them and where their hurts and hang-ups are. And I thought about counseling, and I decided, then I heard about life coaching, and that was interesting to me because it helps people really move forward in their life. So it's not so much dealing with people maybe in crisis, which is very important, and healing as well. But the coaching part was more interesting and seemed to fit me better to help people just really see what potential they have. And sometimes we just all need people to come alongside us and cheer us on and support us and give us the kick in the butt sometimes that we need, and the resources and finding out more about who they are. And so, when I learned about that, I thought I want to take training for that, and so I did.
Nice. So it sounds like that you help people get through what you worked yourself through. In other words, you kind of found yourself, you kind of found your life's purpose, your life's passion. You got some training to help you get to where you wanted to go. And in effect, you're really kind of helping people transition through phases in their life similarly. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly right.
So tell me about the training. What was involved with that?
I took training with a training facility or school called Coach U, and it was a 2-year training. That was the basic training, and then you can go back for lots of different certifications and things. But it was all on the phone. I had people from all over the world in my class, so that was really cool to get to know some of those people, and it really helped. Being on the phone, I thought was really strange at first, but it really helped your listening skills, and they really taught a lot about how to be present and really listen to people, because people need to really be heard.
Absolutely.
And you can hear if they're smiling or whatever on the phone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oddly enough. So
that makes. I do voiceover work for a living, so I totally get that. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think is because you were so in tune, and I'm just kind of guessing a little bit here, but because you were so in tune with yourself and kind of found your way, and you listened to yourself, obviously, you're able to not only listen to folks that come to you, but also you have some kind of instant credibility, I think, because you have to be in a place where people are willing to be vulnerable fairly easily, right?
Yeah, they have to feel safe with you and feel that they can trust you. And I have kind of found that people feel that way with me.
That's a gift right there.
For some reason. I guess it's because I'm, wired that way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I'm very grateful for that.
People can tell whether you're authentic or not, you know?
Yeah. And that's one of my values, is to be authentic. So.
Absolutely. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for us to know, even to identify what's authentic, I think, in our lives sometimes, because we're all going so fast in so many different directions, and we're all into immediate gratification and what am I going to do tomorrow and all those kinds of, stress and passions and pace. How do you catch your breath, if you will, to figure out what your authenticity is?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, is that we have to stop. I think a lot of us get to a point in our lives where we don't know which end is up, and we have this kind of mental or physical sometimes breakdown. I think our society is kind of getting sicker and sicker mentally, physically, and spiritually, because, like you said, we're going at such a fast pace, and we're not taking time to come back to ourselves and ask ourselves those questions of, what are my gifts? Who am I? What do I want? What, spiritually, what does God want me to be doing? How does He want me to show up? And so we just have to stop and look at that. And sometimes we need help with someone else, like a life or spiritual coach or whatever, to bounce that off of someone else and then reflect back to us what sometimes it's easier to hear it from someone else, what we need. So
that's the truth, isn't it? We kind of get in our own way when we're trying to figure things out, and to have an objective ear to mirror our conversations back to us has got to be invaluable.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
And you have to have, I would think, the balance, right, between mentally, physically, and spiritually. I mean, don't you want to you want to be healthy in all of those areas, but it seems like you'd want to have some kind of balance in some way, and I don't know how you pay attention to that.
Well, it all goes together. I think our society is very, they push maybe more of the physical part.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, get to the gym and lose weight and all of that, and that's very good, and we definitely need that. But I think you're right. We need balance, and we need to pay attention. It's just that part of being aware. And I think once we start being more and more aware, then we see that our bodies are talking to us mentally and spiritually too, and then vice versa. Just they all go together in more of a holistic package, if we can look at it that way.
That makes sense. So when you visit, when somebody comes to visit you at the breathing space, which is coincidentally around the corner from my house, and I went to a session at your place, which we can talk about later. But when somebody comes into the breathing space, what do they experience there? What are they greeted with? How do you find a comfortable place for them to begin?
Well, I'm thinking about my client that was in there just a few weeks ago, and he had not been in before, and the first thing that he experienced when he walked in the door, and I was just watching him, I was kind of actually surprised, but he came in and he just stopped right there in the front of in the front door in the reception room, and he just closed his eyes and he said, I can't believe how peaceful it feels just walking in here.
Wow.
He said it smelled good. Just looking around, he could really feel that peace, and that was such a confirmation and encouragement, because that's what people, I feel, sometimes are missing in their lives, is that peace. And so I really want them to feel that when they first come in the door.
And boy, for him to walk in the first time, not even get to the back of the reception room and just stop, close his eyes, and know he's in the right place. What a gift that is for both of you.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. It was very great.
So staying with him as an example, without any confidentiality issues, I don't know from Adam, but so you got him in the front door. He stopped. He closed his eyes. He knows he's in a comfortable place. He knows it's safe. He feels all those things right away. And then where do you take him? What do you have? What's your first conversation about?
Well, he had already set up. He wanted to come and experience the Sacred Space retreat room, and so that's why was why he was there. And so I led him back into the kitchen area. I always offer my clients some coffee or tea or water, and then I kind of showed him around the place a little bit, just so he could get his, feel more comfortable knowing what doors were what and stuff. And then I let him back into the Sacred Space room and let him just sit there for a minute while I went out. And then I came back in and sort of explained what the Sacred Space room was about. And he kind of already knew that he wanted just some time alone that was focused, non-distracted time that he could spend thinking about some of his goals that he wanted to be accomplishing this year. But he also wanted to spend some time spiritually with God. And so I have some tools in that room, mindfulness types of things, books and different things that help with just meditation and mindfulness. But he kind of had his own idea, I guess.
He knew what he wanted. Yeah. Well, mindfulness is really kind of the new buzzword of the last couple of years, isn't it? I mean, not only mentally, spiritually, physically, food. I mean, every mindfulness comes up a lot in my experience the last year or two.
It does. It's really an ancient practice. But you're right. It is a kind of a buzzword these last few years.
And really, it means, I guess, in the most simplistic terms, just be mindful, be thinking about, be conscious about what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, right?
Yeah. I think it's, like you said, be thinking about it, being conscious. I like to say just pay attention, be aware and pay attention.
There you go. Yeah.
And I think somehow too, it helps when we are aware, it helps us bring us to the present, because we so often spend a lot of our time in our thoughts thinking about the past or thinking about the future. And so being mindful and being really aware helps us be in the now. And really that is all we in actuality actually have is right now.
And it's
because we don't know what the future is, and and the past is gone.
But yet the present is what we avoid so much of the time.
Yes. Isn't that interesting?
That's fascinating to me. It really is. I mean, here's the present. Here's where you want to be. Here's how you should feel. No, I'm busy thinking about the future, and I'm dwelling on the past. And
it is.
That is so much what we do. So you help people find that sweet spot, for lack of a better term.
That mindfulness and meditation really has changed my life. Learning about it and practicing it. Not that I'm an expert by any means, but it really, like I said, changed my life. And so I'm really passionate about trying to help people get into that spot, like you said.
And you're paying it forward big time, right? Yeah, I think so. So I went to one of your retreats a week or two ago, a men's retreat, I believe you called it. And if I remember right, the theme of it or the idea behind it was to get together as men, have some conversation, some dialogue, think about what your goals are for 2018, and then you facilitated us to be as present as we knew how to be and have conversation and tell us about that from your perspective, how that particular event went.
Well, I thought it was great. I find that leading men's retreats are really, really fun for me. And a lot of my clients actually, even coaching clients and the Sacred Space clients are men. And I don't know if that is because there's not a lot of outlets for men to find some places where they can, like you said, get together and discuss, if they want to, some more meaningful conversation, have meaningful conversation, but also just an outlet kind of for self-care. I think society is very targeting women, to go and spa days and all of this kind of thing. I guess if you want to call that, it is self-care, but I find that men sometimes don't get that kind of outlet to express themselves in a safe place, and also do something creative and like you said, think about your goals and what you want, and reflection time.
I found it. I really enjoyed it. It was way out of my comfort zone, to be honest with you. And
was it?
And I really enjoyed it. It was out of my comfort zone because I was raised by a single mom, basically, because my dad was gone so much. Pretty much raised by a single mom and her 5 sisters. So being in touch with the female part of my life has always been a breeze. Being in touch and being comfortable with guys has always been a struggle because of my issues with my dad and different things like that. And so when our church, as an example, has a men's retreat and they're going up in the mountains and there's 300 guys, I could care less. About going there. I don't want to be one of 300, even though it's very productive, very spiritual, very mentally satisfying, very physically satisfying. It's just not a comfortable place for me. So to go to your place the other night and sit around the table with 8 guys and work on some creative stuff that kind of spoke to our soul and our spirit and how we felt about different things in life. It started out being out of my comfort zone, and at the end I'm going, that was awesome. It caught me by surprise how enjoyable and how it helped me to be centered. It was really good.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And you did an excellent job. It was really cool to see what you came up with for your vision board.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We've only got a couple of minutes left, so I want to have people understand how they can get in touch with you. I know you have the Sacred Space, so they need to go to your website, which is breathingSpaceCO.com, and you can learn about the Sacred Space, right? And a bunch of your different kinds of retreats. What kind of retreats and things do you have coming up?
I've got another men's retreat in February, that same one that we did, the vision board, and then I've got a couples retreat for Valentine's.
Nice.
And then I'm going to start doing a Sabbath retreat. I'm going to do that maybe once a month, and a meditation retreat for people that are beginner meditators and want to learn how to do it.
Oh, I'll sign up for that.
And so all of those are group retreats.
I'll sign up for the meditation one. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that will be great. And then I have like you said, the Sacred Space and the life coaching as well. And all of that is on my website.
Nice. My other question is because I've talked to different people with this podcast about different things that they're using to help people with and all that. And one lady I talked to a while back, she is a resilience and life storytelling expert. Fascinating. But what was interesting to me was she does a webinar once a month. And so people can join that webinar, have conversations, and I'm wondering if that's something that you're thinking about, because obviously in northern Colorado, this is easy for people to get in touch with you and all those kinds of things. But I would think that at some point having a webinar where you could touch people around the world would be fascinating.
It would be. I haven't gotten there yet in my brain or technology-wise, I guess.
Yeah.
But I've attended webinars and I really enjoy them. So maybe so in the future.
Yeah, I think you'd be great at it. Yeah. I'll help you. I know how to do those. All right.
Oh, great. Awesome.
We've been talking with Pam Day from Breathing Space, where you can find peace inside. And it is just such a gift that you share with the people that you come in contact with. And it's a pleasure to call you my friend. And I'm blessed to be able to attend your sessions. And I will sign up for the meditation one. I think that'll be cool.
That's great. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for this interview, David. This was really fun.
You bet, Pam.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Your 20-minute podcast with David Brower has been brought to you by Audible. You can listen to any of David's podcasts anywhere podcasts can be found, including iHeartRadio, the Spotify mobile app, and at davidbrowervo.com/your20-minute podcast. Until next time, thanks for listening.